This is a DCIRC, a channel where we talk about cybersecurity. But cybersecurity is not just a tech problem. In fact, the most successful cyber attacks in history have very little to do with technology and everything to do with people. Take, for example, the SolarWinds hack, one of the largest supply chain attacks in history where the attackers compromised software updates to a widely used network management platform called SolarWinds Orion. The software was downloaded by hundreds of thousands of organizations all over the world, including several US government agencies, and the attackers basically snuck in their own malicious code into the software update functionality, and then waited patiently for months until the right moment to strike. So when the software updated, boom, the attacker's malware would also get installed onto victim systems. And because this happened through a trusted software update, it went undetected for quite a long time. It took months for the FBI and the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, also known as CISA, to even realize what was going on. And by that point, the attackers had already infiltrated several high-profile targets. And even though this attack was eventually traced back to the Russian Foreign Intelligence Service, the actual hacking group that carried out the attack was a little-known group called Cozy Bear. And Cozy Bear isn't some kind of cyber ninja warrior, just a small team of hackers for hire. So how did they pull off such a sophisticated attack? Well, it's not rocket science, at least not in the traditional sense. They simply found a way to exploit human psychology. SolarWinds had a well-known vulnerability in their software that allowed an attacker to brute force their way into the system, but patching that vulnerability would require privileged access to the server. And since SolarWinds support staff didn't have physical access to the server, they couldn't patch the bug themselves. So instead, they contacted the company SIT department, who did have the necessary privileges to make the change. But here's where the social engineering came in. The IT staff were busy working on other projects and had limited time to deal with this request. So they pushed it off until later and later and later. Then one Friday afternoon, a Cozy Bear hacker contacted SolarWinds support pretending to be a customer. He said he was having issues with his account and needed urgent help. Since the support staff knew there was a patch pending for this particular customer, they decided to just go ahead and apply it themselves without bothering to contact the IT department. This way, they could close the ticket and move on to something else. But of course, this meant that the malware was now able to get installed, and the rest is history. So yeah, cybersecurity is not just a tech problem. In fact, most of the time, it's an organizational and people problem. And it doesn't matter if you're a huge multi-billion-dollar company or just some dude trying to play video games. If your guard is down, the bad guys will be waiting just around the corner. I mean, think about it. You'll probably spend more time worrying about someone stealing your credit card or your identity these days than you do about someone breaking into your house and stealing your Game Boy. But yet you're more likely to take better physical security measures like locking your doors at night than you are digital security measures, like using strong passwords and multi-factor authentication. We've just become complacent about our online security. But the truth is, it doesn't have to be that way. I recently did a survey, and almost half of you out there are even using a password manager, which is like using the same password for everything. Please don't do that. And even if you are using a password manager, are you sure it's protecting your data from unauthorized access? Well, with NordPass, you can be confident that your passwords are safe, because NordPass uses the next generation XCHA-20 encryption standard, which is so secure that the US National Security Agency actually had to unofficially endorse it, and it's not just your passwords that are safe either. NordPass can also securely store your credit card information, digital assets, notes, and other personal data. Plus, it can autofill all your logins for you, so you never have to worry about a failed login attempt again. It even has a nifty little feature called OCR Login, which can scan text information like a username and password, written on a piece of paper, and automatically fill it in for you. But what if someone does happen to break into your device? Well, NordPass has you covered there too, with features like a self-destruct mechanism, biometric authentication, and even a USB security key. Well, that about wraps it up for this episode of Cybersecurity is not just a tech problem. I'm the host. If you liked this video, hit that thumbs up button and let me know in the comments what other topics I should cover in the future. And of course, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any new episodes. I'll see you in the next one.